Nuer Tube, Leang the story of the deceived young man by the name Deng in Gambella. In the bustling town of Gambella, nestled in the heart of the Nuer land, there lived a young man named Deng. He was a hopeful, hard-working soul looking for opportunities to improve his life. He had heard stories from friends about the so-called prophets who seemed to have the power to change lives, to bring wealth, and to offer blessing that others couldn't. His community, like many others, had always had a deep reverence for spiritual leaders, and then wasn't immune to their influence. One day, a man arrived in Gambella, claiming to be a prophet sent by higher power. He was charismatic, with a confident aura that made many people in the town trust him right away. This prophet, as he was known, quickly gained followers with promises of miracles and blessing, telling people that if they follow his teaching, their life would be transformed. Then, eager to make something of himself, attended one of the gatherings at the church, where the so-called prophet was speaking. The prophet spoke of wealth, success, and prosperity, and claimed that he could lead people to great fortune, but only if they followed his guidance. The young man, who had struggled to make ends meet, listened intently. He had dreamed of better life and wanted to believe that this prophet could help him achieve it. The prophet, noticing Deng's curiosity, approached him after the service. He promised Deng something that sounded too good to be true. He said, "You, my son, are chosen for a special blessing. I will give you 5,000 birr, but in return, you must publicly declare that you receive a prophecy from me. Stand in front of the Nuer community at the church and tell them that I predicted your future. Do this and I will bless you with the money you need to change your life." Deng was hesitant. At first, but the thought of finally being able to support his family and have the financial stability he had always dreamed of made him consider it. He was young, desperate, and blind by the hope of prosperity. After a moment of doubt, he agreed to the prophet's terms, thinking that he would receive the money and in his mind, everyone would benefit. The day came when Deng stood in front of the community. The congregation gathered in the church, listening intently. With the prophet by his side, Deng recited a fabricated prophecy about his life. Pretending to believe that the prophet had foreseen his future. It was a lie, but Deng felt a strange pressure to follow through. The people in the church looked at him with a mix of admiration and awe, believing that the prophet truly had a special gift. In that moment, Deng felt the weight of everyone's expectation. After the ceremony, Deng was waited for the 5,000 birr that had been promised to him, but day passed and there was no money. He called the prophet, but each time the prophet made excuses, telling him that the money would come soon. Weeks went by, and Deng began to realize that he had been scammed. The prophet had used him as a pawn, manipulating him to further his own deceitful agenda. The promise of wealth and prosperity had turned him into empty word has turned into empty words. Anger and frustration grew in Deng's heart. He felt betrayed not only by the prophet but also by himself for falling for the lies. He couldn't stay silent. The community needed to know the truth about the prophet and what he had done to deceive them all. Deng took a brave step and exposed the prophet for what he was, a fraud who had come to Gambella to exploit the faith and trust of the Nuer people. He spoke openly about how he had been promised money in exchange for spreading fake prophecy, revealing the manipulative tactic the so-called prophet had used to prey on people's desperation. The community, shocked by the revelation, turned against the prophet. The one admired man was now seen for who he truly was, a manipulator who only thought to destroy the unity and trust within the Nuer community. But the damage had already been done. The trust had been placed in the prophet was shattered, and many people were left feeling betrayed and hurt. Deng, however, became an enemy to the prophet. The fake prophet, unable to bear an exposure of his lies, began to spread rumors about Deng, accusing him of being disloyal and of trying to ruin his reputation. The tension between two grew, and Deng became a target of the prophet's wrath. The prophet followers, still under his influence, tried to turn the community against Deng, but the truth had already been spoken. In the end, the fake prophet was driven out of Gambella, but not before leaving a trail of division, distrust, and pain in his work. Deng, thought hurt by the betrayal, found strength in his actions. He knew that he had done the right thing by exposing the prophet for what he was. But he also realized that damage caused by the prophet's lies would take him time to heal. The Nuer community learned a valuable lesson from experience. Not every prophet who claims to bring blessing is truly a man of faith. Some will use their position to manipulate and deceive, preying on people vulnerabilities for their own gain. It remains the people of Gambella that truly faith should never be used as a weapon for personal gain, and that the Nuer community, strong in their belief, need to be cautious of those who thought to destroy their unity. The end. The story of Deng serves as a powerful reminder of the danger of blind faith and the importance of staying vigilant against those who seek to manipulate others in the name of religion. It also shows the resilience of the community, who, despite being deceived, found strength in exposing the truth and rebuilding their trust in one another.